What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Joet Gonzalez versus Isaac Dogboe, and this is going to be a 10-rounder for the WBC Featherweight World Title Eliminator, and this fight is going to be Saturday, July 23rd from the Grand Casino in Hinckley, Minnesota, and this fight is going to be broadcasted on ESPN, ESPN Plus, or in the ESPN app. And to get both fighters' resumes, Joet Gonzalez, fighting out of the United States, holds a record of 25 wins with 2 defeats and 15 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently ranked number 16 by BoxRec in the featherweight division. He's also a 2-time world featherweight title challenger, and in both of his title challenges he obviously lost, as his first ever defeat came by unanimous decision against Shakur Stevenson, and at the time the WBO title he fought for was vacant. And then his second loss came more recently in October 2021, when he lost by unanimous decision in a great effort where he showed a lot of heart against Emmanuel Navarrete. And to list some of his best victories, he has a split decision win over Rafael Rivera. He has a knockout win over Manuel Avila. He also has a unanimous decision victory over Miguel Mariaga. And he's coming off one of his better wins, which was a knockout victory over former world title challenger Joet Gonzalez. And to get his opponent's resume, Isaac Dogboe, fighting out of Ghana, holds a record of 23 wins with 2 defeats and 15 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently ranked 11 by BoxRec in the featherweight division. He's also a former WBO super-bantamweight world champion. And to list both of his defeats, both came to the same man, and that is Emmanuel Navarrete. In their first fight, he lost a hard-fought unanimous decision, and in their second fight, Dogboe was stopped by Navarrete. And now to list some of Dogboe's best victories, he has a knockout victory over Javier Chacon. He also has a knockout win over Cesar Juarez. He has a knockout win over Jesse Magdaleno, a knockout win over Hidenori Otake. He also has a knockout win over Chris Avalos. He also has a majority decision victory over Adam Lopez, which was a very, very good fight. And his most recent win was a bit controversial, as some fans thought that he lost this one, but he does have a majority decision victory over Christopher Diaz, and I personally thought that Dogboe actually won that fight pretty clear. So in my opinion, this fight was very, very hard to predict, and the winner could get a very, very big fight in the near future. So both these guys are very similarly ranked when it comes to BoxRec, when it comes to their resumes, even their records are very similar. Both these guys are very, very similar when it comes to those stats, but when it comes to their physical attributes, they're way different. Joet Gonzalez is much taller. He's just really overall a different fighter with his style. Isaac Dogboe really does revolve around his big overhand rights. He's really primarily fights like a power puncher, even though he does have the same amount of knockouts as Gonzalez, who normally functions on his volume of punches to get his opponents out of there. But, yeah, this is a very intriguing fight. This is for a WBC Eliminator, and also this is for, I believe Joet Gonzalez has this belt. It is for the WBO International title as well, which could definitely get either of them a world title shot for the WBO belt, which I know Navarrete already has fought both of them, but, it's still up there. But since it's for a WBC Eliminator, the winner could fight for an interim title in their next fight, could fight in a final Eliminator, or could fight the world champion Ray Vargas. But, yeah, first these two have to fight each other, and I think this fight will be really, really close while it lasts. I could see either man winning. I was going back and forth on this prediction, but as of now, I'm edging Joet Gonzalez to just get the victory, but I think it will be a very, very close fight. Could go either way on many fans' scorecards. And just how I see this fight going down, I think that Joet Gonzalez, it would be smart for him to fight really a lot on the outside, to really utilize his reach, because we saw in Isaac Dogboe's fight with Adam Lopez, when Lopez would attempt to counter him on the outside a lot, in those later to mid rounds, he was really just getting just outworked simply because he couldn't really keep up with the volume of Lopez on the outside. But with Joet Gonzalez, who's also a pretty big volume puncher, it will be great for him to utilize his speed when he throws his combinations on the outside, and that could lead to him getting the victory in this fight, and that could be a big key to him obviously scoring points and winning rounds against Dogboe. But with Dogboe, the thing is, we saw in Joet Gonzalez's fight with Joet Gonzalez, he could not hold up too well on the inside. Whenever Santissimo was trading with him on the inside, he was catching him at the end of punches, and that's why the fight was so close leading up to the stoppage, where Gonzalez obviously stopped him in the 9th round. I had it, I think, maybe 76-76, maybe 77-75, either way, but it was a really, really close fight leading up to the stoppage, and that was because Santissimo was having a lot of success on the inside. So for Dogboe, he really needs to get on the inside and throw big overhands on Gonzalez, catch him at the end of punches, counter on the inside, utilize head movement. I mean, he really has to fight that type of style to win this fight. He's got to show a lot of heart. He's got to try really hard in this fight because this is going to be a really, really tough, very, very good fight. So, really just to break it down, what I think will happen, I think that Gonzalez might not utilize his reach too well, if I'm going to be 100% honest, even though that's really what he has to do. I think early on we could see Gonzalez really come forward and fight a fight with Dogboe, as in both of them coming forward, throwing a lot of punches, and I think that's what will happen inside the first half. And the first half of this fight could be pretty close. After, let's say, 6 rounds, it could actually be 58-56 in favor of Dogboe. He could be up 4 rounds to 2. But then in the second half of the fight, I think that Gonzalez will take over, just like what happened in a lot of Dogboe's past fights, where he wins the first half and loses the second. This is exactly what happened with Christopher Diaz, exactly what happened with Adam Lopez. But with Joet Gonzalez, in the fights where he does prevail, it seems that he does have more success in the later rounds, just like against Santissimo, and even against Emmanuel Navarrete, although he did not win that fight, he actually did have more success. Really, I mean, I guess you could say in that fight it was more sprinkled throughout, considering that Navarrete was just at a different level. I mean, even against Dogboe, Navarrete was just at a different level, specifically in their rematch, even though the first fight was a very, very intriguing fight. But here, I think that it will be really, really close in the first half. But it's not going to be like where Dogboe wins the first half and loses the second. I think it will be very close, where either man could be up in the first, but then most likely what I think will be Joet Gonzalez taking over in the second half and winning a majority of those rounds. So I think in the first half, both of them will be exchanging a lot, trading a lot. We could see one trying to dictate the pace by coming forward, or we could see both coming forward. I really think it will be like that, where both fighters will be trading a lot. Yeah, I really think the first half of this fight will be based off of who's going to be outworking who. So I think whoever will be landing more punches, throwing more punches, will be the one winning those rounds. But in the second half of the fight, I think that Joet Gonzalez will start to take over. As I mentioned before, we've seen Dogboe break down in his past couple fights in the later rounds, where he throws less punches, lands less punches, gets hit more. And I think that's what will exactly happen here. I think in those later rounds, just after the midway point, we could see Joet Gonzalez start to win those rounds a bit more clear, and it will ultimately lead to him getting a points decision victory over Isaac Dogboe. But I think the judges will have it really, really close. And yet again, I don't think that Joet Gonzalez will be shutting out Dogboe in those later rounds. I just think that he will just be outworking him by a little bit, just because obviously Dogboe will be a bit more tired, will be throwing more, landing less, or throwing less and landing less. And I ultimately think that it will lead to Gonzalez getting the victory. So yes, as I mentioned before, I think this fight will go the distance, the full 10 rounds, and I think that the judges will score this bout 95-95, a draw. Yes, I think one judge will have it very, very close, very, very tight like that, having it not even split to either side, just having it a draw. And I think that the other two judges will have it really, really close at 96-94 in favor of Gonzalez, which is 6 rounds to 4 rounds for Dogboe. So comment down below your thoughts on this fight, who you think is going to win, and what do you think is next for either man, depending on who you think is going to win, because considering that this is for an eliminator, big things could be in the future for the winner. So overall, I believe that Joet Gonzalez will defeat Isaac Dogboe by majority decision, and I think that the judges will score this bout 96-94 twice in favor of Gonzalez, and 95-95 once a draw. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.